Hey everyone, welcome to a short but sweet edition of the Garden State HSWrestling.com podcast, Near Fall Back Points. I'm Donald J. Brower, your host. We're going to make this one super quick tonight. It's a couple days before states, and obviously the way it's going to work for us this week is we're going to have a podcast with the champions and medalists on Saturday, a podcast with the champions and medalists on Sunday, and we're going to do something next week, kind of wrapping up the season as far as state champions go and such, and we'll do that. But before we get into all that, let's talk about our sponsor, Champion Athletes. ChampionAthletes.com, Dan Warnikoff. Some of the names I'm going to read you in the upcoming parts about, some of my predictions and such. Dan has a handle. Dan helps with nutrition. So, when you were younger and you lose weight quicker, but if now it's not so much, or if you're a wrestler and you're trying to get down a few weights because there's a lot of competition, you're trying to spread your lineup. Dan Warnikoff helps you healthily do that. He will help you with meal plans. That way you don't feel so sluggish. That way you have energy. Pat Glory credits him with help saving his high school career. Because don't forget, Pat Glory lost in the finals 2 years in a row. Dan helped him by helping him be healthy. Dan does it for wrestlers, does it for football, does it for other sports, does it for other states, doesn't even do it for athletes. He'll do it for anybody. Champion Athletes, Dan Warnikoff. Give him a check and see his website. And Dan is the man when it comes to me because he's been there since the beginning for me. Now, obviously, states are coming up. Had a little bit of regular season action kind of finishing up, which is rare. This is probably one of the strangest things because once I'm in region state mode, usually teams is done. However, we've had a few little things jump up, and I want to say congratulations to Roxbury. They won tonight. They had a big win over Par Hills, which wound up giving them a share of the national division with Morris Hills at 5-1. And, we have some of the other champions, Del Barton, obviously in the American division, Hackettstown undefeated in the Colonial division, Hanover Park in the Liberty division, and Madison in the Independence division. Now, those last two teams met earlier tonight. Hanover Park lost by 7, but they obviously kept Joey Oliveri out due to him wrestling this weekend. Could have been a swing. I'm not taking anything, but if you don't have your full team with me, I'm not changing anything. So we're going to go to my final top 10 for now. My first in, like I said last week, Butler and Madison. I mean, great years. Madison, as I said, won. Butler finished second in Division II, so they did very well. Pequannock, number 2 in the Liberty division, Hanover Park. I'm going to go with Hackettstown at number 8, Mendham at number 7, Jefferson at number 6, Pope John at number 5, High Point at number 4, Kittatinny at number 3, Mount Olive at number 2, and the team that qualified all 11 of their wrestlers who competed for the state's number 1, Del Barton. They're the number 1 team in the state, non-public, whatever you want to say. They're the top squad, and they're going to get a nice little showing, I think, over there in Phillipsburg. I'm so used to saying down here for Atlantic City. Phillipsburg's over there. It's the Atlantic City of West Jersey. Nobody's ever said that. So a couple names you want to keep an eye out, obviously, if you're looking to the states. Jack Pastrika, who was the region champion at Mount Olive. I butchered that name. I'm sorry. I will hyphenate it and phonetically say it when I say it this weekend. Daniel Jones from Del Barton. As I said, I was actually shocked because from what I understand, all I keep hearing about Daniel Jones is if he's going to step up as the Giants quarterback this year. I don't know what he's doing wrestling at 106, but maybe that might be the problem. If he's that small, he might not be able to, compete in the NFL. But I'm kidding. I know who Daniel Jones is. Logan Waddle from North Hunterdon, the 6th seed. And I think he'll do well. I think he's got a tough number, but Ethan Smith of Boonton, kind of keep your eye on this kid. He's a tough wrestler. He's his older brother's in the tournament. I could see him maybe making a run. I wouldn't be shocked if he medaled. Winning is a different story, but making that medal stand, I could see him doing that. 113, obviously, top 2 I could see right off bat. Luke Stanich, region champion. Clayton Hunter from High Point. And another little dark horse, if you want to call it that, Michael Campanaro of West Morris. Got the 11 seed. I could see him wrestling back, winning a medal and finish up on the podium. 120, this is where we're going to kind of get into some favorites. Evan Moogan from Kinnelon. We had him on earlier, region champion, state champion. He hasn't lost a match since his last match as a freshman. And last time I checked, his record was 78-6. So, I mean, he's been on a great streak, the champion at 106 last year. I look for him to win it again. He may have a problem, and we'll see in the semifinals, where he should meet Tyler Vasquez of Del Barton. That'll be a great matchup. So if you really want to see a great semifinal matchup, if that all goes to form, and they don't reseed, obviously, because we've had a couple reseedings. I know we're coming up to one at 145 where we lost Austin Jack. He just withdrew from the tournament. They reseeded it. You said somebody, but that'll be a good semifinal match if it gets there. 126, no real favorites for us in the area. We got Nathan Fitt at Newton, Cross Wasilewski of Del Barton, who I think can make a run. He won the region. It just criteria kind of hurt him, and I wouldn't be surprised, like I said, if he medaled. And Frank Diesso from North Hunterdon, I think it'll be, he'll get a nice little run, win a couple matches. Not sure if he'll make the podium, but I think he'll be competitive down there. Coach Runka always has that team ready to go, and especially individually wise. Even though for the last few years I've been doing it D'_ESSO, but that's my fault. I should have read their handwriting correctly. 132, I think we are on the way for a classic battle in the finals if everything goes through. I'm looking at Nico Nardona Del Barton versus Joe Fungaro of Booton. Now, this could have been the MCT final this year if everything had fallen out. Now it might be on the state stage. So, we'll see how that goes. I like Fungaro, but Nardone has been on a mission. I mean, this kid has been 1 win, 1 point here or there his entire career from being on top of that podium. This might just be the year in his senior year where he just goes through it. But we'll see. I'll have my predictions up tomorrow before, tomorrow about midday, roughly, a little after lunchtime. And somebody look in there, Jack Bertha. I think Bertha's capable, if he can get past the first round, I think he's capable of winning a few matches down there and getting on the podium. 138, have another heavy favorite, Joey Oliveri, Hanover Park. He was the 4-time region champion, third wrestler to do that in Hanover Park history. And he's actually trying to tie his former coach, James Laval, as a 3-time winner. He has won it twice, and he finished 4th. And actually, Laval won it 3 times. And the year he finished 6th. Every wrestler in that medal round and the medal stand was either a recent or future state champion. Tough bracket that was. But Joey Oliveri, and then Nick Canonica, 10th seed, Hunterdon Central. Like I said, I could see him making some noise down there. 145. This is kind of like we said, the switch. Simon Ruiz, Del Bart, and Jason Smith. Those are the 2 guys you want to look out for there. Head to 152. 2 more as well. Andrew Trzynski from Del Barton, number 2 seed. Tanner Peak, the 6th seed from Hunterdon Central. You'll see in my predictions, but I'm really, I don't want to say high, but I'm very excited for and doubling down on Trzynski. He was there last year. I was the only one to pick him to make the final. He was that close, and I know how much that bothered him last year. So I think he's going to be on fire this year, and I think that he has to be, right there, ready to go. And I think he'll take care of everything. 160, Lou Jericho from Del Barton, Colton Wojcicki from Hunterdon Central. I think they'll make the medal stand. It's going to be tough to win, but that is a wide open weight. So you very much easily could make a run there, but that'll be tough. 170, we got 789, Colin Calvetti from Del Barton, Norman Sella, Hunterdon Central, James Holder, North Hunterdon. I think 1 or 2 of those will make the medal stands. We'll 7th, 8th. I can see them making it, maybe even 5th, 6th. It'll be tough to get higher up, but you never know when you get down there. Over. Number 182, by far, this is Brian Sedano's weight at high point. He is the reigning state champion. He won the region. He's on fire. I mean, it's going to be tough for anybody to beat him. So, it'd be tough. But, I mean, there's some other ones I think from the area he could get on the medal stand. Jessica Kuchowski from Butler, Alex Uraniak from North Hunterdon, and Nicholas Oliveri from Del Barton, which I'm not calling anybody out. If you get a chance, please go back and look at the end of that region match. That was some questionable calling. I think he was 1 point away either way from a different call from he's winning that region. So I hope he comes out and battles well. 195, the only real local representative, Nick Lodato from Pope John, 8th seed. He's going to go out there and give it his best. Now, 220 is going to be a little different this year. obviously, for most who don't know, the reigning champion at 220 and heavyweight, PJ Casale from Del Barton, Jimmy Mullins from St. Joe's Montville, they're at cadet trials in Wisconsin this weekend, so they opted not to wrestle. So it opens it up a little more, and 220 and 285 have always been kind of that crazy. You never know where somebody's going to win it from type weights the last few. For 220, Jackson Cron, the 4 seed from Kittatinny, Jack Stoll from Pope John, the 5 seed, and David Pearson from Phillipsburg. Would it shock me if Cron went on a run and won it all? No. He's been a pinning machine, and he's been doing, real well. And but it's a really condensed group where they're all equal. There's no dominant wrestler in this weight. So this is going to be some good matchups, and we'll see who comes out on top. It's going to be whoever wants it the most. And then 285, the 2 local guys, Liam Akers from North Hunterdon, Tyler MacArthur from Warren Hills, 3 and 7 seed respectively. I think they're going to go out there and battle. How far they get along, they might wind up meeting in the quarters if my math is correct, or the semis. I think it would be the semis. But if it gets that far, but I would not be shocked if one of them wound up losing and wrestling back to metal. So that wouldn't shock me at all. But it's going to be a interesting weekend at Phillipsburg. I will not be there personally. It'll be the first time since 2007. I am actually not at a state wrestling tournament. Wasn't my choice, but I understand, there's issues and, with numbers and everything, and it's just a different year. I'm just happy that there's going to be some sort of state championship that the kids can enjoy. And the one thing I want everybody to remember too, when, you talk about some of these guys, most racing state brackets have been 32 kids. We're talking about 16. So if you win 4, you're a state champion. That's got to be mentally easier, and you just got to make sure you go. But it's that mental part. This is where the mindset's going to come in. So I wish everybody luck this weekend. We'll be back this weekend with like I said, our nightly podcast. It'll be at Saturday night, late Saturday night, or late Sunday night. I'll have my predictions up tomorrow. I'll try to be following along as much, tweeting who wins and such as they go along, and keeping up for those of you who can't, watch the streams or you follow on Twitter. But if you want, follow me on Twitter, Morris County HSW. That's called a plug. Works together. You can follow me on YouTube. We'll have some stuff up there where these podcasts will be. I'm on Instagram, I think. The website, MorrisCountyHSW.com, HSWrestling.com, Garden State HSWrestling.com, Hunterdon County HSWrestling.com, Sussex County HSWrestling.com, and Warren County HSWrestling.com. But we'll have everything updated as we go. But I'll see you Saturday. Until then, for the podcasting legend Jared, I'm Donald J. Brower. See you then.